Yo, what's going on YouTube? How you guys doing? Welcome back. So we got a developer update today, and it is kind of spicy. I kind of like it. Well, we got it, I guess, yesterday from when you'll be getting this, because I'm recording it the night of, and you won't be getting it. But you get my point. We got a developer update. I'm gonna get my thoughts on it. So they kind of hit us with a couple things. This one's not very long, so I don't expect this video to be super long, but I kind of just want to go over it and give my thoughts on it. So, you know, let's just get right in it. So, developer update. It's everyone's favorite time of the month, reading time. We're back with another developer update. A series of posts where we go into detail on some changes coming to Dead by Daylight. This time around, we've got a mix of balance changes and quality of life improvements. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. So, the first part just talks about patching optimization. I'm going to be perfectly real with you guys. I don't really care about this too much. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like that they're making patching easier and it's going to make, like, the patches, like, smaller and faster to download. But, like, truth to be told, that doesn't really matter too much to me. Like, yeah, it's like a nice quality of life, but like whatever. I just don't really care. So I'm not gonna bother even really going into it. Don't really care. It's fine. Patches are gonna be better. Cool, man. Whatever. Don't matter to me. I let my stuff patch overnight while I'm sleeping anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. This is the stuff. This is the juicy stuff that I want. Here's where the juice is. So they have a Ghostface update. Now, they talked a while back about how they were going to update Ghostface and Legion. They said that they were going to be the two next killers to be worked on semi-soon, and I guess that time is now, I suppose. And here's the Ghostface update. It says, starting things off, we have a few changes in store for Ghostface. First, we're increasing the duration of Ghostface's mark to 60 seconds, up from 45. This change gives him a longer window to follow up and get a hit after successfully stalking a survivor. It makes outlasting the exposed effect harder for survivors, which I think is really good. I don't know why this wasn't already set to a minute, but you know, I definitely like this. As a matter of fact, it could even be longer as far as I'm concerned. Because I do think that one of the major downsides to Ghostface is sometimes you can like mark a survivor and get them, you know, to be exposed, and then the survivor can literally just pre-drop every pallet and play mega safe. Even with it only being 60 seconds, this is still possible. Where someone could just throw every single pallet, play super safe, and basically like wait out the exposed and not go down, right? Like it's 100% reasonable to do, but this just makes it a little bit harder, which I think is good, right? This is just a good quality buff that is nice to have. I think it also makes stalking more worth it too. So hopefully people like feel the need to stalk more now, because I know a lot of people are just not stalking at all and just kind of trying to do like hit and run strats. So hopefully this kind of like entices people to stalk a little more, you know? Second, marked survivors are no longer able to reveal Ghostface. While other survivors will still be able to reveal him, running off on your own now becomes riskier, as you'll have no choice but to evade him while he's undetectable, unless you manage to get a lucky stun. So this is actually really sick too, right? So basically, if somebody is actually marked, they won't be able to break you out unless they stun you with a pallet or stun you in some way, right? Or unless you swing and knock yourself out of it. So that's kind of cool too, right? This kind of gives even more incentive to mark people. I feel like they're trying to give more incentive to like actually use his stock by buffing it in a lot of ways, which I think is really cool because I like that. I like that idea. I like Ghostface. I love Ghostface as like a stalking stealth killer, right? Like kind of like creeps up on a gen, stalks whoever's working on it, and then tries to take advantage of it, right? Like that's a lot cooler in my opinion than like, I don't know, just popping your stealth 24/7 and trying to just do like hit and run strat. Like I think this leads to a lot more of a fun playstyle, and I think they're just buffs that just feel good, right? Lastly, we noticed that many of Ghostface's add-ons have been largely unused with a few exceptions standing out. Yeah, you mean how no one uses any fucking add-ons on Ghostface except for the ones that make your cooldown come back faster, because that's literally the only thing anyone uses. There's like that one pen and then that one like notebook add-on or whatever, like that one green and yellow add-on is the only add-on that anyone ever uses. We always want to see a wide variety of add-ons used, so we've done a pass with the majority of Ghostface's add-ons to bring them up to a similar power level. Here's a few examples of what you can expect. So we got drop leg knife sheath got changed. This one used to make you faster while you were crouched. I can't remember what this one did, but okay, it used to make you faster while crouched, but now it's the Ghostface gains 10% movement speed for 5 seconds after marking a survivor. That is sick. That is actually sick. I love this, dude. 10% movement speed is a lot. That's a lot. That's like Bloodlust 2, basically. Like, that is a big chunk of movement speed. And 5 seconds is a decent amount of time, too. You can get a lot of distance in 5 seconds. Like, you can mark someone, and then you can immediately make a big move on, like, potentially getting it down on them. I like that a lot. That's going to be pretty strong, I think. And this one, Olsen's Wallet, now makes it so that breaking a pallet or wall immediately recharges Night Shroud, which is also really cool, right? Like, you can use your stealth, and if someone breaks you out, you can literally just turn and kick a pallet, and then you have it back. Or, better yet, if you're chasing somebody while you're stealth, and then they they stun you with a pallet to knock you out of your power, you break the pallet, and you can get right back in your power immediately. So that also seems really, really strong and cool. This is good. I feel like we'll actually maybe see some different add-ons on Ghostface instead of the same two like recovery add-ons that you see every single goddamn game. So I like this. This is overall fantastic change to Ghostface. It's not a huge change. Like, this isn't going to be like, I don't think this is going to be like, oh my god, Ghostface is now OP, but I just feel like it's a nice little touch up. It's a nice little like quality of life buff, and I think that's fine, right? I don't think Ghostface was in a terrible spot to begin with, so this should hopefully just make him a little bit better. And I'm curious to see the other add-ons too. I'm curious to see what else there is. It seems really solid though. I like it. And now we have the Legion update. I think this is the real juicy one. This is the juiciest of the juice. So, okay, Legion update. All these years later, the Legion remain one of the most frequently used killers, and it's easy to see why. Sometimes you just want to go fast with the knife. That's why these changes focus on making the Legion faster and knifier than before. Knifier. Faster and knifier than before. In all seriousness, the first of our changes is centered around chaining together hits. Being able to string together multiple hits on different survivors is something that is core to the Legion's design. So to help them with that, we're giving them a stacking 0.2% movement speed, 0.2 meters per second speed boost for each survivor they hit during Feral Frenzy. This will make it easier to close the gap as you switch targets. Additionally, a 5th hit will end your frenzy and put any survivor into the dying state, adding a satisfying payoff for chaining together hits. This is the sickest paragraph I've read in patch notes in a long time. I fucking love this. I love this so much. One of the main issues I have with Legion right now is it feels like they're this killer that are like designed on taking advantage of survivors being grouped, right? Like it feels like their whole purpose is a killer. It's like you find a bunch of grouped up survivors and then you punish them by like putting them all in deep wounds, you know? But something I've noticed is that even if you find like 3 survivors on the same gen, if they all just start running away in different directions when you actually get to it, sometimes you can't even get all 3, right? Like you have to chase one of them away in your frenzy, and it takes a while to catch up because you're not that fast. You finally hit them, and you have to turn around, and both the other 2 are like split into different directions, and you have to pick one of them to chase. Sometimes you only get like 2 people, even if you find like 3 together, you know? And it's just like dumb. It's like, what the hell's even the point of this power? I'd be better off just hitting one with a basic M1 and then just committing to the chase almost, you know? So this whole like getting a stacking move speed every single time you hit somebody feels really, really nice. I like that a lot. It feels like it's going to actually be a lot easier to really punish them for like catching them grouped up as opposed to, you know, just getting 1 or 2 and then just, you know, like getting out of your power and just chasing them around. The last hit being lethal too is also really interesting. Like if you can get 4 hits and then the 5th hit being lethal is really, really cool. Because honestly, if the survivors are smart and they don't mend right away, this only happens if you actually hit all 4 people one time, right? Like that's the only time this would happen. And if you can manage to get that to work at some point, this would be a huge snowball, right? That means you'd have 3 survivors mending and 1 survivor dead like immediately, which is an insane amount of pressure. So this is actually really nice. It kind of like gives Legion almost like I want to say like a win condition, kind of. Like I mean, saying win condition is dumb because obviously you don't have to do that to win, but it feels like it's almost like a big snowball potential, right? Like this is huge snowball potential. If you actually get this to go off, having 3 people in deep wounds and then 1 person in the dying state is a massive amount of pressure. So I like that a lot. And it doesn't really feel that unfair, right? It's not impossible to avoid Legion in his power. You can always like bait out a stun with a pallet. There's a lot of dumb things you can do to avoid him getting hits or them getting hits in their power. So I like this overall. I think it just kind of adds another threat to them and kind of makes their power a little bit more, you know, beneficial to use. I think it's great. Next, we've lowered the post-Feral Frenzy fatigue to 3 seconds, down from 4 seconds. This is really good. That's what the add-ons used to do. The fatigue is a crucial part of the Legion's power, preventing them from canceling their frenzy and immediately following up with a basic attack, circumventing the non-lethal aspect of their power. We found that lowering the duration to 3 seconds felt much better to play with, but also kept it feeling fair from a survivor's point of view. To ensure that the fatigue doesn't get out of hand, we've reworked any fatigue-altering add-ons, since the 2 strongest ones were added to the base kit. We've also changed Feral Frenzy's recharge to start as soon as it ends rather than after the fatigue, effectively reducing the power's cooldown. This is really sick too. Love this as well. So this is literally, yeah, like they even said it, but this is like literally just what the 2 best ones did. Like if you combined Cold Dirt and I think it was Joey's Mixtape, I believe, were the 2 add-ons. They were the 2 best cooldown add-ons. It would literally take a second off. It would take it from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. And honestly, I've always thought that 3 seconds just felt good. Like 3 seconds feels good. I don't think 3 seconds is enough for you to like do any kind of like weird, cheesy, unfair plays, but it just feels a little bit better, right? Like the 4 second, like my hands moment that you have with Legion is just, oh god, it's miserable. It's so long. So taking that back down to 3 by default is so nice, right? Like you don't ever need to worry about those add-ons anymore. You just kind of have a good cooldown by default. And I'm also curious to know what they're reworking the add-ons into, right? Because they said that they're going to rework them. And lastly, add-ons. We reviewed each of the Legion's add-ons. Some will receive numbers tweaks, while others will get entirely new effects. We want to shine a spotlight on the various mixtape add-ons in particular. True to their name, these add-ons will augment the Legion's new music and can even be mixed and matched to produce interesting results. I think I've seen this. This is really cool. Okay, so apparently, when this update comes out, the chase music and maybe the terror radius too, but the chase music will be different for Legion. It'll be unique, and it'll also be dependent on what they're running. So let's hear this. This looks like. Oh god, I can't remember the mixtapes. That's Frank's mixtape. That's Susie's mixtape, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's the. I can't remember, but let's just listen to it. Okay, wait. That's fucking sick. Are these not the same add-ons? I guess that's just while he's in his frenzy. I guess. Is it just... Oh, wait, this is no add-ons. Wait, I'm dumb. This is no add-ons. This is no add-ons. And this is Frank's mixtape plus someone else's. I don't know who the pink one is. Interesting. I mean, I like it. I think that's really fucking cool, man. Again, something that the devs always seem to do right is sound design, dude. They nail their sound design every time. And honestly, I always thought Legion had a good opportunity for sound design, right? I love their little angsty teenager, we love hardcore music, vibe. And I always thought it had opportunity for stuff like this. Like this is really sick. Like this chase music is fucking awesome. What a banger, dude. What an absolute banger. And here's the last major thing, the Hemorrhage rework. This is also really, really cool. Hemorrhage has long been one of the lesser desired side effects for killers, at least. I love how it says for killers, at least. Yeah, survivors didn't mind it at all. Survivors was like, oh, Hemorrhage, who fucking cares? Sign me up. Currently, Hemorrhage increases the frequency of blood pools, making it easier to track survivors. This effect ends up not being very useful in most cases, as the survivor will either be leaving scratch marks while sprinting, or the blood pools will already be close together if they're walking. So yeah, that's a really good point, right? If they're sprinting, it doesn't matter because there's already scratch marks. If they're walking, then Hemorrhage doesn't matter because they're already going to be close. So yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. That makes it completely useless. With that in mind, we've come up with a new version of Hemorrhage. Whenever you're not healing, Hemorrhage will cause your healing progress to progress at the rate of 7% per second. This new version rewards the killer for interrupting a survivor healing and has potential to waste medkit charges. This change will affect all perks and add-ons that currently apply it. This is another one of those paragraphs that just makes me so happy to read for multiple reasons, right? First off, here's the first reason why it makes me happy, because obviously it's just a good change. I think it's undeniably a good change for many, many reasons. I think having something that's anti-heal and anti-medkits is really good since medkits are so strong. It looks like the numbers are pretty good. 7% per second. That's a lot, right? I mean, how long, hypothetically, if somebody 99 their heal, how long would you have to chase them to get it off, right? 10 would be 70, or sorry, 10 seconds would be 70%, plus 4 more would be another 28%. So yeah, 14 seconds. It'd be a little bit over 14 seconds. A little bit, somewhere between 14 and 15 seconds is all you need to do, and then their 99% heal would go down to literally 0, which is a decent bit, right? That's a lot. That's a pretty fast regression. I like that a lot. That's really, really cool. Now, how actually useful that's going to be in game, I'm not sure, right? I mean, it might end up being really good. I don't know. I feel like this might, you might be able to combo things. I feel like maybe something like Sloppy Butcher and Nurse's Calling might end up making a decent comeback. But I don't think it's going to be majorly game breaking, but I like that it at least is useful now. Because I feel like everything that did Hemorrhage before, you were just yeah, it's just what's the point? You didn't even really think about the Hemorrhage. You were just whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? For instance, the perk Sloppy Butcher. People ran Sloppy Butcher basically solely for Mangled, and no one really gave too much about, no one really cared too much about Hemorrhage. But now, they're both going to at least be useful. Even if this isn't crazy OP, it's at least just going to be useful, which is amazing. Also, I think it just makes sense, right? Because when you think of hemorrhaging, it kind of makes sense, right? If you have a wound and it's hemorrhaging, that means you have to fully patch it up. Otherwise, you're going to fucking bleed out, right? So I think it actually makes a lot of sense towards the literal definition too of hemorrhage, that yeah, you need to finish you need to finish patching up that wound because it's literally hemorrhaging, and if you don't, you're just going to bleed out anyway. So you got to fully patch it up. There's no partially healing it. That shit is hemorrhaging. So overall, really good. And the other thing that makes me really happy about this, first off, I like just that it's a good effect. The second thing that makes me really happy is literally just that this whole paragraph, these couple paragraphs, make a lot of sense. A lot of people talk about how the devs don't seem to understand their own game, and You know, a lot of people are like, oh, the devs don't care. They don't even play their own game and blah, 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 which I don't believe is true, but also I get where people are coming from. I really do think the devs have had like a pretty rough history of being a bit out of touch from time to time and like saying things and thinking things that a big percentage of the community don't necessarily agree with. But this makes me really happy because this comes from a place of fully understanding, right? Like this whole first paragraph here where they basically explain exactly why Hemorrhage is dog shit right now is awesome. Because they fully understand these scenarios in which it makes it bad, which I love. I love to see that. That makes me really, really happy, and it makes me like hopeful. That mixed with all the fact that everything I see on this like whole thing is like looks good, makes me hopeful that maybe they are understanding their game, right? I don't know what's going on, but maybe like there is something going on, and maybe they are starting to understand their game better. Hopefully, I mean, maybe I'm just getting my hopes up. I don't know, but I'm really happy with this whole thing. The last thing here, or the last two things, are things I don't really care about too much. They're updating the difficulty ratings. This is like a thing where like when you hover over the killer on the menu or the killer select screen, there's like a little thing that pops up that says how difficult they are. But they're like really out of whack. Like Billy says easy right now or something, even though Billy is clearly not easy. And then like Wraith, I think, says like medium or something. Like it's really weird. It's super inaccurate right now and it makes no sense. But apparently they're changing it to be more accurate. It's basically all this means. I don't really need to go through it. Like they're gonna make the nurse very hard apparently. I don't really care about this. I don't think it really matters too much anyway. I mean, maybe it matters for like newer players, but I don't know. For me, it's not something I ever really gave a shit about, so I'm just going to skip over it. It doesn't really matter too much. And the last thing is the Haddonfield update. So yeah, it's become a tradition for each dev update to be followed by Haddonfield rework 1. Well, this tradition's coming to an end because we saved the best for last. Yes, that was a perk pun. Hardy fucking hard. You're hilarious. The iconic Lamkin Lane appeared in the Entity's Realm over 5 years ago. Oh, sorry, I feel like I need to read this. The iconic Lamkin Lane appeared in the Entity's Realm over 5 years ago. But with all the visual improvements around the rest of the game, that familiar street is starting to show its age. Not for long, though. Haddonfield is next in line to get a visual update. For those wondering, don't worry. The map is getting getting some layout and gameplay changes too. Take a look. All right, well, I mean, I don't really care about visuals, so like I don't really care about this. There's like a cop car in the yard. Cool. There's a hook in a street. Cool. There's a house and a door. Cool. Hey, a staircase. Neat. Wow, neat. Hey, a chair and a TV. Awesome. Wow. Hey, a couple lockers in a basement. Gnarly. See, like what I wanted out of these is I wanted to like maybe see some pallets, you know? Like, show me some pallets. Show me some, like, potential pallets that you guys reworked. You know, show me some, like, tiles that we're going to play. Like, truth be told, I don't really care too much about the visuals. Like, the visuals are cool or whatever. And, like, so some of you guys watching, like, might see this and be like, oh, it looks amazing. How beautiful. But I just don't really care about visuals, man. All I care about is the gameplay. All I care about is how things feel and how they play. And I don't really think it told us anything, right? Like, I guess it kind of shows us the inside of a house. But, again, this doesn't really, like... It's just a staircase. I don't know. Like, what the hell is this telling us, right? This isn't telling us anything. So, I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's it, right? Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care too much about the Haddonfield update. I don't care about the difficulty ratings. I don't really care about the patches. But the Ghostface update, the Legion update, and the Hemorrhage rework are fucking 10 out of 10. Mwah, chef's kiss. A++, 10 out of 10 devs. You guys are doing great. Actually really, really happy with these developer updates. There's not even a single thing I see that I'm even concerned about. I don't know if maybe some people are concerned about the Legion thing with him being able to get downs, but to me, it just sounds fun. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's the exact kind of spice we need for a killer like Legion, who's just been kind of boring and, you know, not very, you know, I don't know, exciting for the longest time. I fucking love this patch. I think it's great. That's really it. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to go over and give you guys my thoughts and talk about it real quick. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are worried about the Legion the Legion rework. Let me know what you guys think about the general reworks in general. I love the audio. Let me guys know how useful you think Hemorrhage is going to be. I like the Hemorrhage update. I think a lot of people might be overestimating how useful it's really going to be because I don't think it's actually going to be that god tier. I think it's just going to be kind of nice. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts. I'm curious to know what people think about this. I'm hoping that people are happy with this. I know it takes a lot to make the Dead by Daylight community happy. I mean, people love being fucking miserable in this game, but I'm hoping this will make people happy because this makes me happy, right? Like this is a good set of patch notes. So let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I want to see it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you guys for hanging out, listening to this with me. If you guys like this video, feel free to give it a like. Helps me a lot with the algorithm, gets more people into my stuff. Also, subscribe because I'm going to be uploading literally almost daily. And also, stop by my live streams. I'm live on Twitch 6 nights a week over at twitch.tv/OhTofu, so feel free to stop by and say hello. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. That's going to be it for me. Until next time, I'm out of here. See ya. I'll take care. See ya. See you later. See ya.